Good morning, everybody. I'm Keegan. Welcome back to the channel. I might throw some previous clips, just kind of stuff that was done on the car. But today we're gonna try to get her ready for a maiden voyage. I've been waiting for a drive shaft mostly, so that's kind of why there's been a little bit of a halt in the videos. I didn't want to button up all the metalwork in the panels and have issues with wiring or the dash, and have to, be real uncomfortable in the cage trying to fix it. So leave it open. We'll see if she drives good. We'll button up some things. I know the brake lines still need to be bolted to the strut towers. I'm gonna do a bar kind of from here to here, kind of keep the radiator support solid. I was gonna end up cutting in the bottom, just kind of pull the whole thing out, but there's really no need for that, I don't think. And I think it's funny to have the Subaru sticker. We did get some 235/75/15s, so there's a much bigger tire versus what's on here, which is like a 195/60. Only issue with that is going to be centering this wheel again. Still got to investigate that. I'll probably do that tonight. But we're going to try cleaning up the car and getting it buttoned up. See if it holds gas, no leaks and everything, and see if we can get her to go before this goes off in like 5 hours. So we'll see if her maiden voyage is ready. Got some goodies. So this is a rear kind of lift kit to correct the trailing arms. So if you think about it like as an L with the strut and then the trailing arm, because we put a lift kit on, it kind of pushed the wheel forward in the wheel well. So we're gonna lower the bottom and it should recenter this wheel. I was pretty adamant about having them centered, and then I'm a little upset that they kind of got off center with the lift kit, but there's a solution. We're gonna apply the solution. Also got a steering wheel spacer, a hub. It's not a quick disconnect, but it'll do for now. It's cheaper, doesn't need anything too crazy. We're gonna try to get the wheel out from hitting this bar. So if it can be anywhere like right here, that'd be pretty nice. It should be pretty close to that with the 4-inch spacer. If I need a little bit more, then if anything, I'll get another one, stack it. This is an old wheel, glow-in-the-dark NRG. My face ended up going through this one, but shout out to Josh for getting me another one. And we did go ahead and remove the charcoal canister. This thing is surprisingly heavy for what it is, and kind of show you what we did for solution. So we did get a gas fill in the stock location. I cut up the original one and ended up using the metal for it, and then I just kind of looped in the breathing holes. They're all the way up there. Kind of looped them in on each other, and then I'll figure out something to do with these sensors, whether we're gonna fake it out or not. I might just literally remove the check engine lights and not have to deal with it. Oh, it did seem to push it out maybe like an inch. I'm not the happiest with it, and by no means is this a tutorial. This is simply me trying to solve unique problems with existing solutions for stock Subarus. I don't have a stock Subaru on top of this anymore to kind of use as a reference. I'm gonna look into seeing if I need the Forester trailing arm to see if I can get one of those for cheap, or just simply make this one adjustable. But I don't want to start twisting up the middle areas of the suspension for that arm. I'm not sure how much kind of play it has to, if I push the wheel out that way, is it gonna kind of bind up there? What are the issues gonna be? And then they did give me these extra spacers. They might be for the sway bar, but I'm just gonna remove the sway bar completely. I'm not gonna need it where we're going, off-road, in the mountains, up and away. But we're gonna see about getting this steering wheel on. I learned with the Subaru steering, there was a clear kind of plastic bushing for the column to ride along. So when you see, I made kind of a steering wheel mount. I'm using this as kind of a marker, but I had the wheel centered, and I just needed to seat that plastic bushing, and it is a pain. Solution: get a kind of a universal one. This one's from JJ Rods. I know they do a lot more of the American hot rod stuff, but we're gonna be using this on the column instead to hold it, because that plastic bushing is a pain, and I didn't see it as worth fighting it, especially if it ended up moving a little bit. So we're gonna kind of position it right in the center, focus. That way we don't have all of this slop, because I think there are about 2 or 3 kind of joints, and with that amount of slop, steering is going to be really bad and difficult. And the last thing I want is any difficulty turning this car. So we're gonna kind of pick a spot And I'm probably gonna end up taking away a little bit of material and then just throwing some tack welds on kind of the drill holes instead of using hardware. And we'll have steering in place. Steering is in. And I'm pretty happy with it. Thankfully the bracket was stainless steel, so we just went ahead and welded it to the firewall. There were 4 bolt holes for mounting, but they were so inaccessible from the other side that I just went ahead and did a bead at the bottom, and between that being welded and these two, this thing is not going anywhere. I do need like one more spacer, maybe an inch, just to kind of have clearance for the hands. But other than that, I feel good about it. It's in. That way, you know, Driveshaft test drive. I did end up doing the fuel. I'm not sure if I mentioned that earlier. And I did go ahead and kind of clean up some of this, the miscellaneous metal that was here. So I threw a tack in and then used pliers and just kind of worked it up. Just did one every couple inches or so. And now it just needs to be seam sealed. Not sure if I'm going to do kind of one piece across or if I'm going to kind of do side panels and then do one piece along the top. But I really like having access, so I don't want to completely shut it off for how far deep it is, kind of into the quote cabin. But we're at that last kind of 10%, so it's going to be a bunch of miscellaneous small things I'm just going to try to take note of. Immediate issue on the quote bolt-in drive shaft. We went up in diameter just because that's what the shop had, and they kind of wanted to up it because of the horsepower number I gave them versus what was in here. And back of the drive shaft, we're hitting this area now. I believe it's subframe. Yeah, because it bolts in right there. So we're gonna have to do some good old cutting on these 2 pieces. I believe this might be frame, but we're gonna dip a cutoff wheel in there, and kind of remove the whole chunk. And we are finally gonna have to address these e-brake lines just because it's so close. So we're gonna see if we can kind of reuse some of the other bolts as a holder for them, keeping them stock, and just move the lines forward or whatever needs to happen. She's in with clearances of her credit card. If this becomes a problem, then we'll address it again. I'm already gonna have to remove this again to kind of clean up a lot of the seams and everything. I started to kind of grind some of them down, but 3-inch drive shaft in stock Subaru Impreza subframe, I guess, diff carrier. I'm not sure what this is because the diff mounts back there, but also mounts right here. But it's in. It moves freely. Trimmed out both edges here. Trimmed out both edges on the other side. Kind of roofed it off. Did the same with kind of this piece right here. And then also up front, this is where the carrier bearing rode. Kind of this hump right here. There's a bolt right here. No, carrier bearing was here. So there's just this random kind of chassis support. And we just notched out a little corner there and a little tab around the backside just because it was rubbing right there. The engine looks to be in an angle, and I'm not sure if it's an offset for the front transfer case, and that's kind of why they had a carrier bearing here. But it's in happily, and we're gonna see if we can fit up the e-brake and then see if all the wheels move. Dude, a quarter? I found a dime earlier on the roof. This car pays for itself, dude.
35 cents richer.
The most expensive part on this car is the drive shaft. Oh. Little car, by the way. Dukes Hazzard Japanese edition. Alrighty. She's in neutral. Neutralis.
What is this in the...
This thing sucks. Need detachable steering wheel. Round 2.
Neutral.
Drive time.
We are so high off the ground. We're not high enough. What am I saying?
Dude, we are a little high off the ground. I kind of like it.
Oh my god, these seats are so low.
Can you put your seatbelt on? She's back. I'll probably this will probably be running after some clips of the car driving. Shout out to Cisco for coming by. Shout out to Josh. They both went for ride-alongs. No overheating, no bad smoking. She's happy. I'm happy. There's definitely some temporary zip ties and stuff just to kind of keep wires out of the way. We're gonna start doing the metal work next. Zip tie some of these wires, get them much happier and in a higher spot. Fit some of these interior pieces. That way we can start seeing if the accessories like the heat, AC work, and then figure out some tires, some exterior stuff, and send some inside paint, cage paint, windshield, and it's time to get sent. But we still got a couple more long days, hours before it happens. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the driving clips.